everyone, my name is Kristin Hayes and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're going to make this Christmas card using products out of the new holiday catalog that is available September 4th. So it might already be out when this video goes up. I'm not sure when I'll be posting it. So we're going to get started, and the first piece we need is a piece of Pretty Peacock, and this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and I did score it at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to give that a crease. And then we're going to use a piece of the Brightly Gleaming DSP, and this is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And just so you can see, this is the other side. We'll be using the side with the, I'm not sure you can see it, but the copper foil on it. We have 2 pieces that are going to go on each end of this, just to give it a little detail. And these are also cut from the Brightly Gleaming DSP, and these are cut by 4 by just 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to go ahead and snail those on right now, so I don't lose them because they are tiny. So I'm just going to snail it up, and then I'm just going to start in one corner, get it lined up correctly, and then just bring it across. And that way, if I didn't cut it exactly and there's some hanging over, I can just trim that. Looks like I did a pretty good job today. All right, and let's just do this other one. There we go, flip it over. All right, and again, I'm just gonna line it up at the corner and bring it straight across. Whoops, it's not quite straight. There we go, that's a little better. And bring it straight across. There we go. Little adhesive on here. I'm just gonna get that off a little bit. All right, so that's our base piece. That's our going on our base piece of cardstock. So what we're gonna work on right now is we're gonna work on this little banner piece in here. So I have a piece of Very Vanilla somewhere on here. Here we go. And this Very Vanilla, it's approximately 4 3/4 by 2 3/4, but that is approximate because we are going to be using the stitched nested labels dies, and we're going to be using the 2 biggest pieces out of this framelit set. I'll show you the whole set so you can see it. But they're really nice nested dies with the stitched trim in them, and you can make frames out of them, and they have 8 different sizes, and then a straight piece you can use for some designs as well. So we're going to be using the 2 biggest ones. The biggest on a piece of Pretty Peacock, and I did cut this at about 5 by 3 1/4 to fit it on there, and this is more than you need, and I'll show you why in just a minute. And then this is, I said again, the Very Vanilla 4 3/4 by 2 1/4, 2 3/4. All right, so let's just bring the big shut up, and I'm going to show you how I made the banner pieces. Now I am doing this before I stamp, and normally I would stamp and then do the big shot, but because I need it to line up exactly on this die, we're going to do it opposite today. So to make the banner, what I did is I just lined it up so that this edge is going to be our edge on the banner, and so it's just lined up where these corners meet, so we're not cutting out this top part. You could always cut that out and then just slice it off, but I figured that this was the way I wanted to do it. So I'm just going to run this through. And then you can see we have a piece of a banner just like that. So we're going to do the same thing with the Pretty Peacock, just so we have a piece to mat it with. And again, I'm just lining it up so the sides are straight, and so it goes right across where that other end would be. Just run this through. All right. And here's our other piece. Perfect. All right, so let's put that aside for a minute, the pretty peacock, and we're going to bring out the very vanilla, and we're going to do some stamping on this. So the stamp set we're using today is called Christmas Gleaming. It's really pretty. It has punches for these ornaments, which we'll use in a bit. And then, oh, I didn't mount those, but that's okay. And then we're going to use some of these sentiments as well. All right. So let's see here. We're going to use Pretty Peacock, and we're going to start with the Deck the Halls piece, and we're just going to put it not at the very top, because when we're done, we're going to be putting a little piece of copper foil over. So just come down just a tad, because we want the jolly to fit as well. The glare is, let me just move that a little bit, see if that's better for me. All right, we're just going to go with it. Not too bad. And then we're going to come in with the MB Jolly this season, and we're just going to fit that up close to the holly, but not going over it. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so that's fine for that right now. And then what we're going to come in and do is make these ornaments. So let me just get another block, because I don't think I mounted them. Nope, they're still on there. Okay. So we're just going to use the bigger ornament. Let me just put that there. And then the smaller ornament on here. And we're going to do some copper embossing with it. Let me just get that a little bit straighter. Okay. Whoops. See, I left an open ink pad and I've got a project going into it. All right, so we're going to take our Versamark. And I've got a piece of the copper foil right here, and I'm just going to give it a wipe with my embossing buddy. I find it a little bit harder to emboss on the foil if I don't use that, because it really does pick up. And what we're going to be doing is copper right on copper. Let me just grab, I don't ever have enough space, and I know I had my embossing powder out. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is, right here. Okay. So I'm going to just stamp the big one first, ink it up well with the Versamark, and then I'm just going to come down here. And you want to be careful you go straight up, straight down, so that it doesn't slide on the foil. It's just a little slipperier. It's really not that hard to do, though. And then we're going to do this straight up, straight down. All right. Then let's bring in a piece of scrap paper, and we're going to put our embossing powder right over the top. All right, shake that off. And you can see, I hope you can see, that it's adhered right where we want it. All righty. So I am just going to, after I get my top on my embossing powder, give this a little to get any extra off. Blow it off a little bit. I've been known to try and blow it off with the lid off of this, and I've gotten embossing powder everywhere, but yeah, I guess you learn your lessons, right? So I'm just going to use my heat tool with this and heat this up. There we go. So, oops, the foil does get very hot, unlike cardstock, so just be careful when you are working with it. All right, so then we're just going to, we have a punch for each ornament, and we're going to come in and just punch that out. Then we'll do our other one. And there is another stamp set, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, in the holiday catalog that has two stamps in it that fit this ornament punch as well, which is nice. It makes it a little more versatile. And there is another stamp in this stamp set here that will work with the bigger ones. So it's not just a one punch and done. So I think the last piece we need is this Merry Christmas right here. So this is still from the same stamp set. And I'm just going to open my pretty peacock, and I just have a scrap piece of Very Vanilla here. And we're going to ink it up. Now this I will have to fussy cut, but it's just a rectangle, so it's no big deal. Even for me, who does not like to fussy cut. So you get a nice crisp image there. And then we're just going to come in with our paper snips and snip that right to the edge of it. And like I said, I'm not a big fussy cutter, but a rectangle with straight edges I can handle. All right. And then this is the last little piece. There we go. Let me just take this off. And then I think we're ready to put our card together. So we're going to take the base, make sure I'm going the right way, and then we're just going to adhere this piece right onto it with snail. All right. Line that up. Okay, so then we're going to work on the banner piece here. So we're going to put the Deck the Halls, and we're going to go right at the top so that they meet up here. And that's just snailed as well. Then before we put the ornaments on, we're going to take our piece of copper foil and we're going to snail that to the top as well. So again, I'm just going to start, I hope my head isn't in the way. I'm going to start in the corner and then just bring my piece of foil over. And this one's a little bit longer, so I'm just going to snip that end off there. All right, so then we can put on our ornaments, and the ornaments I want to put on with some dimensionals. So this one only needs one. And actually, let's adhere this to the base first because the second ornament goes on to the DSP. So we're just going to place this a little bit over to the left, like that. Then we've got this ornament going on here, just in the middle right here. And then this one's going to overlap a little bit like, I didn't put that one over enough. Let's see if I can get it off a little bit. If I rip underneath, it's not that big a deal because it's going to be, there we go. Take that off of here. We're going to move it over just a smidge more. Maybe I have the Deck the Halls over further. There we go, that'll work. Okay, so then we're going to put a dimensional more on this side of the bigger ornament. I think I'd like a mini. Let's just grab a mini here. It wants to stick to my fingernail. There we go. Take those off. And the reason why I did them on the side is because this is going to sit on here more than anywhere, but I do want it to look like it's a little bit on that copper foil piece, like kind of it's hanging off of that. Okay, so then what we need is the Merry Christmas, and I'm going to use some mini dimensionals on the back of this. I don't know where my tool went to get these off a little bit easier, but we'll work it out. Maybe. All right, here we go. We just need two is fine. All righty. The whole one wants to come off. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, so this is just going to go at the bottom here. Merry Christmas. And we are all set. Our card is done. So here's the original. Here's the one we made. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not already working with the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love a chance to work with you. And all my links will be listed below. Thank you so much for watching.